Okay guys, so let's just hop right into this video. This is going to be a Get Ready With Me Harry Potter Ravenclaw edition. I'm sounding a little off and a little nervous because yeah, today is going totally different than I planned. We are totally snowed in, which is wild. So wild. We're supposed to be doing Harry Potter events this weekend. We're supposed to be doing Fantastic Beasts, and then Barnes and Noble is having an event, and then a local bookstore was supposed to be having an event as well. And I don't know if those events are still going to be on. I think we'll be able to make it to Fantastic Beasts. We got our tickets weeks and weeks ago, but I'm not sure about all the other events. But anyway, I had totally planned today to practice on doing a kind of Ravenclaw look, more dramatic. The weather is really bad. I'm going to be bundled up and sweaty and hot because I'm going to have all of my winter clothes on in November. I'm thinking that I'm just going to go ahead and do this Get Ready With Me and just make it a very, very low-key Ravenclaw look. So let's get started. So I'm going to start by priming my eyes. I've already done my eyebrows just to save on time. So I just thought that I would jump in by just talking a little bit about my Harry Potter experience. I was not an original Harry Potter fan, meaning I did not get into the series in the beginning like a lot of other fans did. I actually started reading the series between the third and the fourth book. So in between Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire, that's when I started. I caught up on all the books, and Goblet of Fire was the first midnight release party that I went to, and that was just so amazing and so magical. I doubt I'll experience anything like that ever again in my life. So yeah, I got into it and read all the books and was part of the whole fandom. I'm going to go in with my Pat McGrath palette, this one right here. And I'm just going to put that all over my lid. This is going to be my transition shade. So yeah, I got into it and loved it immediately. Regretted not getting into it when the books first came out, but whatever, what are you gonna do, right? I was really, really hardcore into the fandom. I used to post on Leaky Cauldron forums and a couple of other forums too. I think I remember counting. I stopped counting at like 8 quizzes that I took, and I got Ravenclaw like 6 times and then Gryffindor twice. So it was no shock to me when Pottermore came out that I was placed in Ravenclaw. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm a little embarrassed to admit this now, but when it first came out, I signed up with 4 different emails. And I was really, really trying to get into Hufflepuff because I just felt like that was the house I should have been in. I kind of just identified more with Hufflepuff than any other house, and I got Ravenclaw all 4 times. So the way I see it is that there are a group of questions that I am so hardcore on that I will not budge from, and those are the questions that put me into Ravenclaw. Yeah, I'm Ravenclaw. I have my Ravenclaw scarf here that I'm going to be wearing all winter, but I will be wearing my Ravenclaw scarf tomorrow, and I have like a Hogwarts university type of sweatshirt with all of the houses on it, and I'll be wearing that tomorrow, even though I'm probably going to be really, really bundled up. And it's not just tomorrow, it's the whole weekend. It's gonna go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette, and I think that I'm gonna be using this blue right here. I don't know, I just don't feel like Ravenclaw. I really don't. I would drown in Ravenclaw in like real life. I would be like Neville Longbottom. I would be on the floor sleeping outside of the portrait hole every night, because there is just no way in hell that I would be able to answer a riddle to get into my common room. Like, there's no way. I would be waiting for other Ravenclaws to come and to help me and to save me, because I am terrible at riddles. Yeah, I definitely feel like I am Hufflepuff, because I feel like Hufflepuff people are more well-rounded, and I do think that I am well-rounded. I'm not brave like Gryffindor. I'm not brave and like proud. I'm not like that type of person. I'm definitely not cunning and ambitious like Slytherin. I would never make it in Slytherin. And I don't know, I just don't feel like Ravenclaw. I think that they're ambitious, but also like witty and smart. They're like that, and the kind of people who hold court at a dinner party, and I'm not that person either. So I don't know. I think that I belong more in Hufflepuff, because I'm all about friends and loyalty, and I'm welcoming and non-judgmental, and I just kind of stay out of shit. That's the kind of person that I am. I definitely feel like that I am more Hufflepuff, but that's okay. I'll take Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw pride. I'm not going to go on and on about how awesome Hufflepuff is in a Ravenclaw tutorial. Then I just kind of like fell out of love with the series after Deathly Hallows. So with the exception of Deathly Hallows, up until last year, I had read every single book in the series at least 3 times. I only read Deathly Hallows once. After Deathly Hallows came out, I was just kind of, I don't want to say I was done with the series, but I was kind of over it, and I started to kind of withdraw from the fandom because I just really did not like Deathly Hallows in the beginning. And then Cursed Child came out, and it reignited my interest in the books, and which is interesting because I absolutely loathe Cursed Child. I won't even speak on it. It was really bad. But it made me realize how excellent the series was. And I was ready to get back in. So basically what happened was that when Deathly Hallows was released, it was like this big thing, and my husband got me a hotel room so I could finish it in style and, it was like a once in a lifetime thing. So he got me the hotel room. And I checked in with all of my snacks and my food and everything, my drinks, and I sat down and I started reading the book. So basically, when you got your book, you had to read it that same day and finish it if you wanted to participate in the online discussions, or if you just wanted to be online, period. You had to make sure that you are not going to be spoiled. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in with this Prism. I'm going to go in now with this Prism eyeshadow. It's a cream eyeshadow. I got it from Shop Miss A. I went in and read the book and started reading it on the, while I was in the hotel room. And I was having a very good experience. The never-ending camping trip. It wasn't bad or anything. It's just, it was a long book. But it was just frustrating for me because I lost, my favorite characters. Fred was absolutely one of my favorite characters. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, there wasn't much of a difference between Fred and George, but I disagree. I don't think that I would have been that upset if George had died. But I remember distinctly when that scene happened and he died, I threw the book across the room. This was in the middle of the night, so I was just out of my damn mind at this point. And I called my husband in the middle of the night and I said, I cannot finish this book. And he said, what did she do, kill a character? And I said, yes. He said, we got this hotel room for 2 days, so you better finish that book because it's costing us money. He said, you'll be okay. Just take a break and go back in and finish it. I took a break. I had myself something to drink and I calmed down, and yes, I cried. And then I went back and I finished the book. I didn't like the book. I didn't like the ending. I didn't. Jenny had really started to irritate me in book 6. It felt like she changed her so much to make her this perfect girl for Harry. And I don't think that that was necessary. I don't think it was necessary to make her like this Mary Sue. Everyone, no flaws, everyone loves Jenny. I think that she could have done better than that. And I think the character deserved better than that. It didn't endear her to me. It made me resent her. And I resented that Harry ended up with her. I resented that epilogue. I resented those children. I resented the names of those children. It pissed me off so bad that I just did not want much to do with the franchise after that. That they were all just coupled up. It just seemed so juvenile, and it just read like fan fiction. And I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And I was young and everything too, but I just felt like that it was just overkill. And I just didn't think that they needed to be coupled up and married off, and it really got me thinking. I'm just going back in with that Axis color from the Subculture palette. It just made me think about how people in the wizarding world, they just married so young. James and Lily were like married and parents of Harry at like 19 or 20 or something ridiculous like that. Like better for it to be maybe a 5-year fast forward, and they were getting started in their careers, and they were happy, and they were all going on adventures that didn't involve them possibly dying at the end of the adventure. I just wanted them to be like normal kids, and I felt like the epilogue robbed me of seeing that experience. And that's how I felt at the time. And I don't feel as strongly about that now, but I still feel like it was a mistake to marry them off like that. Once I finished Cursed Child, and I absolutely hated it, and I went to like the release party, I bought multiple copies. I bought a Kindle copy, I bought a hardcover copy, and then I ended up taking the hardcover copy back because I was like, I do not want this book to be in my Harry Potter catalog, which is crazy because I own every companion Harry Potter book. I have like, I think 2 sets of the series plus companion books, but I just prefer to pretend that the book doesn't exist. Before I get into that next part, I'm gonna go in with this bronze color right here. This is right here. I'm gonna go in with this bronze color right here. This is Adorn. So the Ravenclaw colors are bronze and blue. That's the color they are in the book, but with the merchandise, it is silver and blue. So I had to kind of decide, and I'm just going to go in with the book because I like, personally on me, I like bronze more than I like silver. So I'm going to put this in on, ooh, lordy. Okay, that's really bronze. Okay, so we're just going to go with this. We're going to go with this bronze color right here. And I'm just going to put this in the inner corner of the lid. So I got back and I decided that I wanted to get back into the books, but then I wanted to get back into them in a different way. I didn't want to like read the books again. I just wanted something different. So I decided to do audiobooks. And I absolutely love audiobooks. I've been reading them for maybe 15 years now. The first audiobook I ever read was His Dark Materials. I freaking love that series. So I ended up just getting it from the library, and that took 6 months for me to get all of the books and read them. And it was crazy because the last 3 books, they all became available in the same month. So I basically had 20 days to read or to listen to all of those books. And man, that was a chore, let me tell you, because those were the longest books. But I did it. I made it through. And I love the audiobooks. They were very, very good. Would I buy the series again, absolutely, I would get it on audio, and I think that I am just gonna go ahead and purchase it on audio. But there were a couple of issues I had with the audiobooks, and basically it just comes down, I think, to preference. He did a great job. This is the Jim Dale version. He did a great job with most of the voices, but I just felt like it was awkward sometimes listening to him voice the female characters, in particular Luna. She was the absolute worst. I don't know how he made a 12-year-old girl sound like Rob. That's how she sounded to me. She sounded like Rob. It was the strangest thing listening to him voice Luna, and it took me out the book so much every single time. It was just so weird. The best thing about that, though, was that when you're listening to audiobooks, you kind of get a different perspective than when you read them. Listening to the books, you realize that Harry is more reacting to Luna rather than interacting with her. So you don't have to suffer through him voicing Luna too much, because it's mostly Harry thinking about what he thinks about Luna. It's his inner dialogue reacting to Luna, if that makes any sense. It was also a little cringy sometimes to listen to him with Hermione. I just felt like maybe some of the weakness of the character came out when with him narrating. She kind of whined a lot, if that makes sense, and it didn't seem that way in the book, but she was always, "Ooh, Harry," and you had to listen to a middle-aged man voicing a young, teenager. "Ooh, Harry," and "Ooh, Ron, no." And my British accent is terrible, but you get it. And it just sounded weird at times, but I got used to Hermione, but yeah, that was just a little bit off. Okay, so I'm basically done with my eyes right now. It's just very simple, as you can see, just blue and bronze. Those are the colors of Ravenclaw. And I'm just gonna go in now with my foundation, and I'm using the Ordinary 3.1Y. But he did a really good job with the rest of the voices. He did a good job with McGonagall. I didn't have any problems with him and how he did the ladies at all. He did a really good Dumbledore. He did a really good Snape, and he did the best Hagrid. Like, his Hagrid sounded exactly how I pictured Hagrid sounding. He did a very good job. I will say some of the weaknesses come out in books when you listen to them. So I never realized how long and repetitive Goblet of Fire was. God, that book was long. It was so long, and so much was repeated, and you kind of miss that when you're reading, because you kind of just skim things, The worst part, I think, was Harry in the graveyard with Voldemort. Lord have mercy, that was a long scene, and Voldemort just would not freaking shut up. And it went on for 30 minutes in the audiobook of him boasting about his plans and how great he was, and how he got away with everything, and how he was gonna kill Harry, and like, oh God, it was just awful. It was awful. I didn't realize that. Maybe it's because I was so excited because he had come back, and it was like, oh damn, things are really getting started now. But ooh, man, I just wanted him to die, and just not even in a satisfying way, just to make him shut up. Voldemort is like the most ineffective villain ever. I'm going in with my concealer. This is Born This Way in Warm Sand. I didn't understand why people followed him and why they were so inspired by him. Yeah, he wasn't a very satisfying villain. And he's causing all this chaos without really even doing much of anything. Anyone can kill indiscriminately, which is what he did. I thought that some of his underlings or some of the other side villains were way worse than Voldemort, and they were able to incite fear without relying on what is essentially a gun. Abacadabra is like a gun, represents a gun in the wizarding world to me. And like Dolores Umbridge, I mean, she was the worst to me. She abused children and she inflicted terror, and that I think that is lasting and that will affect minds and hearts. And I thought that she was actually the worst villain of the series. Barty Crouch was pretty terrible too. You know, you have someone you think you know and he turns out to be a completely different person, and you trusted him, and he wasn't always bad. He wasn't just a terrible, horrible person. Even if he was pretending, he had some qualities that made him seem like he was a good person. So I feel like people like that, with more depth to them, I thought that they were way scarier than Voldemort was. Sad that we never saw Umbridge get what was coming to her, but I think that that's typically what happens in real life with people like her. They never get what's coming to them, and she probably lived to the ripe old age of 150. Yeah, I enjoyed the series, and I definitely recommend giving the audiobook a shot if you want to revisit the series, but you want to do it in a different way. This audiobooks are really good. I definitely recommend them. I'm not very excited for Fantastic Beasts 2 Crimes of Grindelwald. I'm just being honest with you, and that has solely to do with Johnny Depp. So I wanted to discuss J.K. Rowling just a little bit. I know that she's canceled by at least people on my timeline. You know, it's, oh, she's canceled, blah, blah, blah. I'm not canceling J.K. Rowling because she's not as woke as I would like her to be, or as what people want her to be. I'm not going to do that. I understand why people are frustrated with her, and she's really at the point where, you know, she's just going to piss off any group of people, no matter what she does. And this is my Fenty Beauty Vis Matte Blotting Powder. But I do understand the frustration, don't get me wrong. And to me, this whole episode with Johnny Depp is just the absolute worst. This is not 2004. He is not this big box office draw where he's going to put butts in the seats. No one is going to see Fantastic Beasts because Johnny Depp is in it. And this whole thing, well, he was revealed as Grindelwald at the end of the first film. I don't care. So what? So change it. This is a universe where owls are delivering newspapers every single day across Britain. They are tying newspapers around their feet or their ankles or whatever it is that owls have. And they are delivering these papers across Britain. Newspapers. Can you imagine the logistics of that? Okay? Of owls delivering newspapers to every family in Britain. It's impossible to just even comprehend. But we accept it because it's a magical universe. You could have found a way to bring Colin Farrell back as Grindelwald. You could have. And he was so good too. And I'm just going to miss him. Every time I watch Fantastic Beasts, it makes me angry when Johnny Depp's abusive, angry ass shows up. And that's unfortunate. As strongly as I feel about it, he's just one person. And I'm not going to let one person stop me from enjoying a series that has meant so much to me. But it's disappointing. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go in with a smudge brush, and I'm going to go in with the color Axis again, and I'm going to hit up my my waterline here. The thing with Nagini, I kind of understand where she's coming from with wanting that story to be told, but to be honest with you, I kind of side on the side of people who are upset about it. If she had written a book about this and this was all based on a book, it would be a little bit easier to swallow. And here's why. Because when you're writing a book, I 100% support authors writing what they want. I don't care what it is. They are entitled to write what they want to their preferred audiences. And I am a strong believer in not censoring authors and letting them have free reign over their material. They are writing for, in most cases, a very small niche audience. So if she had written this and this was a book, I would back her 100% on making Nagini a woman. She was born a woman and now she is basically tied to Voldemort. I actually never did see Nagini as Voldemort's pet like a lot of people did, but I can understand why they did. Just like I never saw Fawkes as Dumbledore's pet. I saw them both as their companions. They didn't run errands for them and depend on them for survival the way Hedwig did with Harry and Crookshanks with Hermione and all of the pets and things that the wizards kept. I did not see Nagini or Fawkes as being on that level. They were more companions, not pets. But I can totally understand how those lines get blurred, and people can definitely see that Voldemort owned Nagini, that she was a slave to Voldemort. And that is so problematic. And the reason why this doesn't fly in films is because Nagini, yes, is the vision of one woman coming to life. J.K. Rowling, this is her vision, her character. However, it stopped being just her and her vision and her character when she crossed over into films. You can't approach characters the same way with television and with films the way you can with books, because this is being consumed by a mass audience, millions of people all over the world. And not only is it being consumed by a mass audience, but you have other people bringing this character to life. You have casting agents, you have a group of writers, you have directors, you have producers. This is a collaborative effort. And this is why it's so important to have people of color in the writer's room and in the casting studios and everywhere present, because somewhere along the way, someone should have said, hey, I don't think it's a really good idea to make Nagini into an Asian woman who eventually becomes a slave to one of the darkest, racist, bigoted villains of all time. This isn't just J.K. Rowling's vision anymore. So she doesn't get to hide behind that. Well, it's always been that way. Well, if it's always been that way, write a book about it and then have them adapt it. But you can't claim that kind of exclusivity, that kind of privilege when it's a collaborative effort now. It's just not your film. I feel sorry for the actress because it's such an amazing opportunity to be part of this film, and she's already being met with a lot of anger and resentment, and it's not her fault that the character was written like this. So I do support the actress, but I do think that the thing with Nagini was a misstep. J.K. Rowling is a human being, and she's a complex one at that. It's not going to be perfect, and we shouldn't expect her to be perfect. So I'm going to go in now with a contour stick, and I'm just going to contour because I'm feeling a little flat with this makeup look. So I haven't been hearing many good things about the film, honestly. But I will say this, the people that I follow in the Potter fandom, they seem to like it. So I am trusting their judgment over critics. So I'm going in cautiously optimistic, but I'm not expecting like a masterpiece like Deathly Hallows Part 1. That was really good. And so was Prisoner of Azkaban. That was actually really, really good. I loved it. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with some bronzer here. I'm using my Physicians formula in medium to dark. I'm just going to set that contour. I'm just going to go in with some bronzer. I'm just going to contour my nose just a little bit. This is just a regular blush color. This is from Shop Miss A. So yeah, I'm back into the Harry Potter fandom hardcore. Needless to say, I throw myself into everything because that's just the type of person I am. I go hard when I'm back in. I've also started playing Hogwarts Mysteries. I started playing that when it came out. I don't really care for it all that much. It seems like a money grab, and I'm aware that everything everything that they do at this point is a money grab. But I don't want it to feel like a money grab. You know what I mean? They knew if there was some money to be had in the mobile space, and we're just gonna give them this crappy game. I mean, it's not crap, but it's just not exactly fun either. I'm gonna go on with this blue. And I'm gonna see how this looks with this eye look. A little more dramatic than what I would typically wear, but this is Harry Potter, so when else can I be dramatic? So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of highlight. I was hoping for something like Forges of Empire, where maybe we would be able to build Hogwarts through the ages. I'm just disappointed that that's what we got. We got Hogwarts Mystery. So that was disappointing, but guess what? I still play. I'm still playing, and I've even spent some money on that stupid game, so I'm a Harry Potter fan. What are you gonna do, right? Okay, I know you guys think I'm freaking crazy because I had on a curly unit while I was doing the entire makeup look, and then I swatched to this one. And the reason why I swapped to this unit is because I ended the video talking about the Hogwarts Mystery game, and I was not very positive about it. I enjoy playing it. It's not the best game, but I do have fun. And I felt like I was being mean to to my character, Jinx. And when I was writing on Hogwarts Mysteries, I felt like I was betraying her. And that's how she looks. And I think she's so cute. And I modeled her after me. And she wears her hair very similar to this. So I wanted to kind of look like her and like just pay homage to my character because I really do like the game and I love her. And I don't want it to... I feel bad. I feel like I was like insulting my friend or something. But I hope anyone who's going out to see Fantastic Beasts this weekend, The Crimes of Grindelwald, I hope you enjoy yourselves. I hope it's a great film. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out, wizards, witches, and muggles. I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd. Jeez.